welcome to our virtual tour of Peterborough Ecology Park's Wildlife Garden. One of the things that we need to consider in urban areas is providing a great variety of plants which will support a great variety of living things. When we're gardening to attract wildlife, which might include butterflies, birds, small mammals, all sorts of interesting living things, we're looking to provide food, water, shelter, and space. So behind me you can see a shady corner of our wildlife garden where we have a lovely birch tree growing in the background that provides some height and helps to provide a variety of heights, many places for birds to perch, birds to nest. We also have a hemlock tree, which as it grows bigger will provide some shelter in the winter. So all of the plants that we have growing here are shade tolerant, and we have plants here like dianthus, which will attract hummingbirds. We have spiderwort, which is also a good hummingbird plant. We have a number of plants that will bloom a little later in the season, such as gray-headed coneflower, blazing star. And in the back, we do have some cardinal flower, which will also attract hummingbirds when it blooms a little later in the season. Certainly food for wildlife can come in many different forms. Behind me is a wonderful Weigela shrub, which is not native to Ontario, but it's also not invasive. And this is a wonderful source of nectar for hummingbirds. Hummingbirds love their tubular flowers. Over here, the white blooming flowers are Ontario native beard tongue, and that's another plant that the hummingbirds will love. So food can be in the form of nectar. Food can also be in the form of berries, and we have this currant bush, which is just starting to ripen its berries, and very soon this will be full of robins and cedar waxwings. Now food can also be in the form of leaves. Many types of living things can feast on the leaves of our garden plants, and a certain amount of munching is absolutely normal. This right beside me is one variety of milkweed. Milkweed is the host plant for the monarch butterfly, and this one will bloom in a few weeks with brilliant orange flowers. But in the meantime, monarch butterflies will lay their eggs on these milkweeds, and we may see some fat caterpillars munching on the leaves, and that's great. That's what we're growing them for. Another important principle of a wildlife garden is to integrate as much variety into your yard as possible. Now, variety should include plants of different heights, ranging from low-growing flowers that can be annuals or perennials, plants of a little taller height, medium height, shrubs, and if possible, large trees. The greater variety you have in heights of plants, the greater the number of places that critters have to hide or to nest. Also think about variety of species and try to integrate as many plants that are native to your region as possible. Many types of wildlife have evolved with our native plants, and the greater number of native plants that you have in your yard, the greater variety of living things that will be attracted. You'll notice there's also many places to hide here, places to hide from predators. You can also think about integrating brush piles, rock piles of logs, also nest boxes. Many birds that eat insects need cavities, holes to nest, and you can provide that by building some nest boxes and installing them in your garden as well. Another of the important factors to consider in a wildlife garden is providing a source of water. Now that can be simple, such as this pan which is just set into the ground, edged with a few rocks. This can be a water source for birds. This can be also a source of water for toads and frogs. Toads love to soak water through their skin, and so this is a great place for a toad to come for a drink. So it can be simple, or it can be a little more elaborate. You can build a full-scale backyard pond, and that would be a real magnet for wildlife, but it's a bit of a larger project. So with a little careful planning, your yard can be a Garden of Eden. And the beauty comes not only from the wonderful choice of plants and the flowers, but also from the many types of living things that will be attracted to your garden.